Hey everybody, welcome to the Creativity Cave. I'm Dina Rico and I am so ecstatic to be sharing with you this beautiful card that I created. I love how it turned out. I love the shimmer, the sparkle, the vintage kind of look to it. I just think it turned out better than I ever imagined it would. And I also created a cute little tag to go with this, kind of using some of the leftover punched pieces that I had from making my big flower. I've got lots of tips to share with you on this one. So make sure you stay tuned because there really are some really great tips on how to make this really easily for you. And I think you're going to like them. Also, I have photos of this on my blog, as well as all the dimensions and colors and supplies and links to my online store so that you can create this gorgeous card yourself. It really is pretty simple. It's a little putsy because you have to put all these flowers together, but it's not challenging at all. So let me show you how I did this. Like I said, it's with a couple of these great tips. You'll be surprised how nice it is. So I have a scrap. This is actually some craft cardstock that I had left over from a project I did the other day. I'm going to take my festive flower builder punch and just punch this out once. And what I've done is I have created a little template that I'm going to use, or I think I actually refer to it in my blog as a stamping jig, because my husband makes jigs all the time. I can too, so there. So I'm going to just write bottom, and what this corresponds to me is the bottom of my punch, which is, down here. Okay. And what I'm trying to do is create a little template so that when I go to stamp on my cardstock, I can have all of these line up and I can easily punch them all out as I go. Okay, so let me bring in a little background paper to stamp on, because I'm messy. If you know anything about me, I hope you know that I'm cheerful and messy. Okay, so I have I have the stamp here, and let me show you how I did this, because I think you're going to kind of find this pretty awesome. So let me back up for 1 second. I have the 3 images that I want to use to stamp on right here, okay? And the way I lined them up was I literally placed them inside the punched out spots on my cardstock. And for this one, I don't want the whole leaf here. I want just part of it. So I'm actually going to scooch it all the way down here so that my entire leaf is not covered. If you look at this, I want there to be some empty space near the top. I don't want to fill this entire large petal with the veins. I think it just looks more flowery that way. Same thing here. I'm going to scooch this down just a little bit so that the whole thing does not show. Okay, so now that I have my stamps lined up, I'm going to pick them all up with my block in one motion. Oh, and my stamp is dirty, so we should clean that off before we go ahead and stamp, because I find that things look better when you start with a clean stamp. I'm just saying. Let me just grab this quick. I have a leaf that we're going to stamp in Pear Pizzazz. Okay, so now that you can see my template, let me show you how I put this together for stamping. I have a half a sheet of Blushing Bride cardstock. I'm not a pink girl, really. I like hot pink, like Melon Mambo pink, but I'm not a huge soft light pink kind of person. I think it's nice, but it's just not, I don't know, it's just not me so much. But I have to say, I love this card. I kind of feel like the pink with this pretty little music background paper just really, I don't know, it looks vintagey, and I love that. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp these along the bottom edge of my card, like so. And then what is kind of genius about this, if I can just say that, is that once you punch all of these out, or once you stamp all of these together, you can punch them together as well. That's why the jig is so awesome. So it really saves time so that I don't have to stamp individually 8 of the large flowers, 8 of the medium flowers, and 2 of the small flowers, because then I would be stamping until the end of time. Okay, so here we go. Now let me show you the punching. Just like that. So remember, what you really want to line up is the center 2 flower, because these are going to line up then correctly. Okay, and it seems a little counterintuitive to me to do it that way, but it'll work, trust me. I might have stamped these a little low because I'm seeing that my middle one is not quite fitting on here, but that's okay. See that the tip isn't quite on there, but we can fix that. This one's better, so that's good. Then you also are going to end up with some extra pieces, and that's fine. I don't have a use for them today right now, but what I like to do when I have leftover extra pieces is take and put them in a little cello bag and keep them in with my stamp set, because then I can use them later. Now, I have 6 of everything at the very moment. I want 8 of the 2 larger sized petals. So I'm going to stamp 1 right here and another right here. And then I'm going to stamp this littler one on this side and the same thing over here. And if I'm being careful to not cover up anything, find a blank Post-it. Oh goodness, all my Post-its have writing on them. Because I don't want to stamp over this stuff, I can just put a Post-it down to protect, because I just want this one right here. I could also take it off the block, but I mean, it's mounted and everything so well, so I'll leave it like that. Okay, next I will take my scissors and get rid of all of this excess, because we don't need that, and we want to be able to get our punch in here. So I will punch this one out, and then that one. And then here, I'm going to separate these 2 just so I don't accidentally punch anything more than I was going for. I don't want to get more than I bargained for in this one. So there's that one. Ooh, and I think I even got a full double one out of that, but just happened. Okay, and then last but not least, we'll get that one. Okay, now I do have a few extra pieces. We'll get rid of those just to make things easier. And then what we're left with is all these adorable, gorgeous, wonderful petals. So I'm going to take each one and kind of fold them in half. You can see I'm not totally folding them in half. I'm just bending them for dimension, because if you have also been watching me, you know I like to have dimension in everything that I do. Okay, so I'll stack the big ones together and the little ones together and the medium-sized ones together. And I'm doing this to every single one of the petals. I'm even doing it to these double ones, like so, okay? And I only need 2 of the double ones for my one card. So I'll just kind of stack the others up for use later. Like some of these, you know, they might have been cut off prematurely. It's rough. It's rough when you can't make the cut in stamping. Poor little leaf. Feels so bad. All of its friends are going off to be a card. Okay, I'm kidding. I hope you all had a lovely Halloween. I was very happy the weather was nice. My dog greeted all the little trick-or-treaters. She had such a good time. And then she ate an entire candy bar, wrapper and all, and promptly threw up. So that was super fun. Yeah, hoping that's coming out of the carpet, because so far I haven't gotten it all out. That's great. Okay, now that I have all these, let me show you the next step, which is to create a base to glue them on. And for that, I'm going to use another scrap of my pink pirouette, just because, sorry, this is, oh goodness, what color is this? Blushing Bride. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I messed this stuff up. Okay, so there's my circle punch. And I just cut a 1.5 inch circle. You can use basically any size circle. I probably wouldn't do a 2 inch or I'm sorry, a 2.5 inch circle just because it's so big, but anything smaller than that will work. I'm also going to cut a 1/2 inch circle. Now you might be thinking, where are these in the card? And the whole purpose of these is to get a nice round, even flower, not an oblong flower. Okay, so what I've done is I folded this in half, and then I folded it in half again, almost perfectly, but not quite. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is adhere my little circle to the center. Okay, this is all going to make sense in just a second. So first of all, I'm going to put adhesive completely covering this circle. I'm getting very excessive with the adhesive because you really want it to stick down well. Okay, and I'll place my 1/2 inch circle in the center, and if it's not perfect, that's okay. You just want it roughly in the middle. Okay, and then you also have a place to stick your finger so that it sticks to it. Now those fold lines are kind of helpful because then what I do is I want my vein, my center vein, to fit on the fold line. I still want to keep my dimension, but then I'm just going to go to the very opposite side again on that kind of fold line. And there are my first 2 petals. Then I'll do the next two petals on the other fold line that I did. That's why I folded them in half. It helps you find the center of your circle as well as give you a stepping off point to start this process. Okay, so now you can see these are lovely, evenly spaced around the circle. And then the next 4 are going to go in the in-between spots of those first 4. And you just want the tip to touch that circle. And then that way, what you have is a perfectly evenly distributed flower where all the petals are even and nice. The very first flower I did with this was kind of like really round and perfect for about half, and the other half was kind of like all crooked and wonky. And so it just did not turn out so hot. Okay, so again, I like to keep the dimension going. All right, so there is the base. Then I'm going to create the top. So to start with, I'm just going to adhere these 2 together. Glue dots work excellent for this process. And then I will work with the smaller ones. Now I'm going to do the same thing here, only I'm going to work from behind instead of laying them on top like I did here. So I'm going to work on behind with this. So this is kind of the basis for mine. At the base of each petal, I'm just going to put a little bit of fast fuse. It works so wonderfully because it's so sticky, which is perfect. Okay, so I just kind of prep the first 4. And then I'm going to place these right in the center, like so. Okay, and if a little bit of adhesive shows, that's okay. But you don't want to overlap these. You kind of want them to just meet right up. And again, that's what helps keep everything even. Sorry, I'll do this on screen so you can see. And then do you see how these are perfectly even? Now you could stop here and just place this on and go, but I kind of like to fill it out just a little bit more. So I'm going to do the in-between ones with my final 4. Okay. So once I've done that, I am just about done with my flower. And while it took a few minutes to create, it is so beautiful. And then, of course, we're going to make it even prettier by adding some sparkles to this. Okay, so there is all of that. Now again, I constantly am sort of poofing things out on here so that they don't get stuck too flat. Now I went ahead and mounted this together using a dimensional so that there's a little bit of lift between the two layers, and then that poofy stuff that I've been working on will stay. The next thing I'm going to do with this is, sorry, this, if I was turning this and then the bottom was moving. Okay, there we go. So pretty. The next thing we're going to do is prep the center, which is, I mean, super easy as long as you can find your scrap. So I have some scraps of Dazzling Diamonds, and this is what I love about this is you can just kind of get in there with this teeny little image and find a spot where you can punch this. Probably where you wouldn't think that you'd be able to get anything punched out, but you can. Okay, so there's one, and I'm going to do one more. And here, this looks like a good spot. You just kind of have to turn it till you get the right orientation. That looks good. And two. So I have my two punches. I'll glue dot these together. And then I'll place them in the center of my card. My goodness, I'm having trouble getting these to sit where I want them. There we go. Now, of course, you know, dimension. All right. Now, the rest of this card is really easy. We've done the hardest part already. Okay, there we go. Okay, finishing up my card, I have stamped and punched out two of the leaves. The same image, just this time in Pear Pizzazz on Pear Pizzazz. And then I can place these, you know, here like so. Then I'm also going to stamp Christmas Joy on a scrap of crumb cake ink. And oh, look. Haha, I have die cut it out. I used the banner die from, I think the framelit set is called Bunch of Banners or something like that. Now, for the card itself, I have all my pieces here. I'm actually going to add a layer from my sample just to see how it looks. Sometimes I like to do that in the video because I'm kind of getting my second chance at this card. So I added a little layer of crumb cake cardstock, and I'm going to rough that edge up just a touch to kind of add to the vintage feel of this. I'm using this little paper distresser. We used to carry this years ago. You can get the same effect by running your edge of your scissors across there, as long as you're careful. You don't want to cut yourself or anything. But it's just, you can see a real skinny little layer that I added. And then I'm just going to adhere them together along with my printed paper. So we'll see. You can tell me, you can be the judge and jury on whether or not this extra layer looks nice or not. I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. But I think it's kind of nice. I think it adds. And the other thought I had was that it would pull the paper or the Christmas banner that I am putting on here kind of together with the card. Now this is printed paper from This Christmas. I love this paper because it's not specific to Christmas in terms of like, you know, like if you read this music and sang it. One of my customers just told me what it was, but now I can't remember. Anyway, it's not specific to Christmas, so you're good to go. If you want to use it for other cards is what I'm trying to say. Oh my gosh, but the words are just not coming. Ugh. I've been kind of in a funk today. I have so much to do. I'm getting ready to go out of town this weekend for a Stampin' Up! Event. I'm so excited because I haven't been to one in a while. I'm really anxious to see my friends. But oh goodness, there's so much to do between now and then. And I just kind of want to take a nap. Okay, so I'm going to place these two tucked in under here. And I think they're going to look so beautiful. And then last but not least, I want to make sure they're still dimensional though. You know, I like that. I got to add my little, oh, I just thought of something too. It'll make you laugh because I did this when I was making the card as well. I wanted to add some ribbon to this just to kind of make everything pretty and nice. So I had to just feed it through. This is one reason why I don't always go crazy with the adhesive. Like I have a strip up here and down here, because this way, you know, if a girl wants to change her mind and add a little ribbon to this card, she can. It's cool. It'll work. So that's how I got that on there, because this was an afterthought when I was making the card originally as well. So I'll show you what I'm doing. This is kind of a cool way to get some ribbon on without taking up that thickness of the ribbon, because we already have kind of a thick embellishment on here. So let's not like kill it with too much. So what I'm going to do is I put a little layer of adhesive down. I'm trying to get this right. Just need to scooch it up for what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I'm tacking that piece down right there. I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive down, and then I'll tack this piece down right here. And you can see they just kind of crisscross just lightly. And then we're going to put Christmas Joy right over the top of this. Okay, and Christmas Joy, by the way, that is not stuck down. There we go. Now it's in there. Christmas Joy, I took and added a little bit of Wink of Stella, which is how we're going to get the shimmer on our card. So for this, I just kind of drew a little line along the edge of the clear Wink of Stella, and then I kind of covered the back area here as well. And then we're going to get pretty with this. Okay. I guess I did just adhere that on. So let me put some fast fuse on the back of this. And I gotta kind of wiggle the ends of this just to distress them a little bit as well. Okay, and we'll place that right there. It's nice and shimmery, but let's get really shimmery. I'm just going to use my marker here, and I'm going to smack my Wink of Stella, and as I'm doing this, I'm gonna put a lot on here just because I really want a nice super shimmery card, and you can kind of start seeing the sprinkles of it on. I think that'll be good. Hopefully my entire office is not covered in sprinkles, but look at the shimmer that creates. Isn't that just gorgeous? Really pretty easy to do, just a lot of steps. Takes a little time, but I think the end result is so worth it. Now here's a tag I did. All that this is, oh, do you see how it did not stamp well on the backside? You did not see that. Because this is a perfect tag, right? So this tag is just, this actual piece right here is left over from cutting this. I just trimmed it off. This is 2 inches by 4 or 4 1/4, doesn't matter, roughly. It's just that much. Then I added a little bow at the top. I punched it with the scallop tag topper punch. And then these were the leftover pieces from when I made my flower originally. So I hope you love these beautiful card, this beautiful project. It's so, so pretty. And I will say, whoever places their very next online order from me will get this gorgeous card from the time I post my video. So get ready, girls and boys. Check it out. Thank you so much for stamping. I hope you love this card and are ready to try it yourself. Don't think that this punch is limited to just poinsettias. I've made sunflowers. I've made just cute flowers. I've done a lot with this. So I think it's a really versatile punch that goes well beyond Christmas. And oh, I should tell you, by the way, the Stitched with Cheer is the stamp set I got my Christmas Joy from. And then Reason for the Season is where these images came from, as well as Jesus is the Reason for the Season on my tag. So anyway, all the details and links to my online store will be on my blog, so check that out. Thanks for stamping with me, you guys. Bye!